So nobody was able to know who, unless you just rolled off on somebody's house and said, I'm the myth. Yes.
But that's the whole point of it, though.
Pimps had pages too.
What happened?
Talking about pimps had pages.
You know where you from, but the pimps had pages.
I didn't know no pimps. And there's that.
Wow.
You really didn't go to church then, did you?
Because what every pastor pimp?
Not every pastor, Ron. Not every pastor was a pimp. I don't want to put every pastor in that.
I'm sorry, not every.
Yeah, not everyone.
15%. 15%.
Maybe higher than that. Maybe a little higher than that. Anyway, this guy, I don't know. But we said this was going to happen, by the way. We all said this was going to happen. That the Futures and the Nick Cannons of the world were going to continue to set the precedent. And here we are.
But are you seriously saying 4 kids will be born? They're all going to be born in 2022.
That is correct.
Ron, you make that sound amazing. You do believe that he could possibly hit 4 women in the year, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
he got
if
enough money.
Dogging 4 women, there's a high chance.
Yeah, you're right.
But I saw a TikTok just the other day. May have been one day this weekend. Said, times have changed. Mistress is a derivative of the word mystery. That's because the other woman was a mystery.
Exactly.
And now it's just a side chick. Ain't no mystery to it. She just
side chick out here telling everybody business.
Y'all, I believe this in my heart now. I could be wrong. Yeah. This screwing women and getting 2 and 3 women pregnant, 4 women pregnant at one time. That ain't nothing new, guys.
Oh yeah, we know it's nothing new.
Papa been spreading his seed all over town, all of our lives. That ain't nothing new. Most black people have a sibling that they don't know about on the other side.
Yeah, we don't disagree. We're just laughing at the fact that Kodak Black's dumbass is gonna have 4 kids in the same year, and who are the people who let him do it?
He still got time over his hands.
Yeah, he still got time.
I gotta say he might break the record. Might go and
he actually got a little money, right?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
He probably worth about 2 to 3, 4 mil.
Yeah.
Them ninjas back in the day wasn't nothing but bricklayers, and they still had 2, 3, 4 babies at one time.
Hold on, Ninja. Why are you putting my daddy's name out in the streets? My daddy was a bricklayer. He was amazing.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Why are you talking about my daddy? You trying to say I got kinfolk all over town?
The hell?
To level 1, man. Watch yourself.
Watch yourself.
Watch yourself. We had some sad news. This broke while we were coming on the air. And I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like how this broke or why it broke, but it did. I don't know. Maybe we should talk about it. Well, we can talk about it with dignity. How about that? According to the police report of the Dwayne Haskins situation, Dwayne Haskins being a young man from the Washington Commanders who passed away by being hit by a truck on the expressway in the middle of the night. He seemed to be over the legal limit of alcohol, and also had a drug substance, possibly marijuana, in his system. The police report also said that he was with a woman and their relationship was unknown at that particular time. So quickly, a statement was released on behalf of Dwayne Haskins' widow, Calibria Haskins, and it was released through the attorney. The attorney was the one that made the statement. And it says he was a loving and dedicated husband and son and brother. He wanted to be a father and eventually a grandfather. He was a humanitarian who loved children and animals. He was a nationally recognized scholar athlete in Maryland. He's a record-breaking quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, all Big Ten academic student, and MVP at the Big Ten Championship. He was the MVP of the Rose Bowl, a Heisman Trophy finalist, the 15th overall pick of the Washington Commanders. And when he passed, he was a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, loved by his coaches and teammates. All these things and so much more. On behalf of his wife, family, and his memory, and on behalf of the truth, we respectfully request and pray for privacy, patience, and for the public to withhold any judgment during the period while the law enforcement authorities continue to investigate and conduct their important work. So
that was so politically correct.
Well,
I think it was needed. I think it was needed because you don't know the facts yet, but yet you're tarnishing his legacy without knowing all the facts.
Right.
Yeah, I hate ESPN for this. I hate Adam Schefter for it. I almost said something bad about them because none of this needed to come out about this young man.
I don't understand what's to be gained by putting this out there. Like, what exactly are you gaining?
Everybody trying to be first.
This story? But it's not even first to what? Like, what are you first to what? What's the win here? What's the, I was first one to break what?
Because it was such a mystery. His death was such a mystery. It's like hit by a dump truck. What the what? Who walks out?
You know what? You want to solve a mystery? Find out who shot Biggie and Tupac. We still don't know that shit. You get interested in solving mysteries?
Yeah, we kind of sort of do.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of sort of do. But I'm saying,
man died on the highway, hit by a truck,
and saying that he was walking with an empty can of gas, trying to get gas.
But here's the thing: there's no mystery. They're not first to solving anything because even with all that, we're not. Are you saying because of his state of mind, his physical condition, that's why he was struck by the vehicle? Was it his negligence? We don't know that.
I mean, and either way, whether he was negligent or the dump truck driver was negligent, it's still not a crime being committed.
Yep.
So what are we talking about? I don't understand what we're talking about here.
Nothing about what they put in that article had anything to do about anything.
Now I am glad we talked about it because somebody needs to say what we're saying. You know, we got to be more responsible. Every story ain't a story. This ain't a story. This is just y'all being nosy and messy.
They're being petty as hell. I mean, the man, he didn't kill nobody. He didn't hurt anybody else. He lost his life. Regardless of what he had did at that time, you don't have to throw all his business out there.
Right. I agree 100%.
It does nothing for anybody.
Yeah.
Other than tarnish that man's name. That's all they're trying to do.
And why are we so hell-bent to do that? Like, what do you gain from tearing down this black man's name?
It ain't got nothing to do with that black.
Okay, talk to us. Educate us, cuz.
We are a 24-hour news cycle consumer. We want news in, out, and around every damn thing that happens. So much so, you got people walking around here not even satisfied with the news. They got to add a conspiracy theory on top of the goddamn news.
Right.
We are junkies to information.
You say junkies or jockeys?
Junkies.
Junkies, okay.
We're hungry for it. So it doesn't matter who it happens to. Well, I mean, to a degree.
I agree to say because they would drag our black asses through the mud 10 times faster than everybody else.
Well, sometimes you're right. Sometimes, but I mean, also sometimes they get exposed to. I just leave it at that. We are junkies for.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, cuz and you know, that's one of the reasons why we try to be real careful about everything we bring to the table. Because some of it ain't news to me. Like you've noticed, most of you have noticed by now, we've said nothing about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation and don't plan to because that ain't news to me. I don't care. And I don't think any of you care. So let's move on. It's just certain stories that ain't stories to me. I don't care.
The only thing about the Johnny Depp I care about is if he's gonna make another Pirates of the Caribbean. That's it.
Well, they've already replaced him. So I can answer that for you right now. They've already replaced him with what's the girl's name?
No.
Some chick. I can't remember the girl, but they're replacing him already.
They're replacing with some chick.
They are replacing his ass. He's gone. He's
That's
out
all
of
right.
there.
I'm gonna watch the old ones and forget all about it.
There you go. So
okay, we're good now.
Right.
That's the only thing I cared. That's the only thing about that whole article about Johnny Depp I cared about.
Yeah. And I don't even know who Amber Heard is. If I'm being honest, I'm like, I don't know.
She's
an actress too, ain't she?
I think so. All I know is she's
the mermaid. She's the princess from Aquaman. That
from the movie Aquaman?
Atlantis. Yeah.
She seems sane in that movie.
Right. I would have thought I thought so as well, but I didn't know nothing about all that extra.
Clearly, that wasn't the case. So anyway.
But they're already trying to replace her.
I don't want to talk about her. Well, they should replace her. She sounds like she's a little crazy.
Well, okay.
You're talking
AKA dumbass.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of dumbass things, cuz don't stone me, okay? We're just reporting the news. We mentioned to you guys before that there were some challenges with the young lady that co-founded Black Lives Matter, and now seems like it's starting to snowball. But I do want to say this. Cuz before you jump off, I want to say this. I'm starting to have a little bit of sympathy for her plight. I'll be honest with you, because I've had some time to reflect on some of the decisions that she's making and that she's being exposed for. Buying the mansion, giving her baby daddy the money she gave him, the $2 million, all the different things that she's being outed for now. I'm starting to understand what happened.
What?
Well, this is my theory. All right, this is my theory. This is Lloyd Spence's theory. Too much is given, much is required. And when it's required, it requires much understanding, of which she didn't have it. She had never been given this much money in her life. And she didn't know. I think Black Lives Matter was a great way to say something to affect society. I'm not sure it was intended to be a nonprofit social movement. And because it snowballed and happened so fast, I just don't think she was really prepared for all that came along with Black Lives Matter. And so it's kind of like the Colin Kaepernick thing. I kneeled because I was concerned. I said Black Lives Matter because I believe Black Lives Matter. I didn't know it was going to become this thing, and now I'm about to possibly be in trouble, or the world is going to talk about me like a dog. So I'm starting to have a little bit of sympathy for her, because the mistakes that she's making, she's being outed for, are ignorance mistakes. Like, you really thought you could? What made you think that you could get away with this? Like, why would you think this was okay? Except that you don't know that it's not okay. Or maybe you do now. It may come out later that she did know, and she was just, there's a criminal element to this. I don't know. But I'm trying to be a little more understanding of people's stuff. Anthony Bruce is already saying, I don't believe that. If she had helped a lot of people and got a mansion, I'd be okay with that. So that's fair. That's also fair. I can't argue with that. I'm just saying I'm trying to have a little bit of empathy for her, because these are really big, huge mistakes. You can't just give somebody $2 million and people don't find out about it. So thoughts among the panel.
Yeah, pretty much say how we feel about it.
Okay.
You did not know not to give that money away.
Come on, man. We're gonna put it on. I didn't know.
I don't know what else to put it on, Mama Noise. I'm trying.
Okay, well then that means every person who wins the lottery, they really don't know what they're doing. So do they deserve to get the money?
They don't know what they're doing.
Those fools don't know.
So then they don't get it. Then they won it. They don't get it then because they don't know what they're doing.
Mama Noise, I'm saying when you don't know what you don't know,
you don't know.
You don't know, and so you do stuff based on what you know.
Whether it was ignorance, whether it was greed,
Got 8 years, Anthony Bruce.
whether it was just pure malice, whatever it was. That's nothing new in this country. We're trying to make her look like something that all these white folks ain't been doing all these years.
I don't disagree with that either.
You know, they have a whole state of people, a whole group of people in this country that they call Sooners. You guys know what the Sooners are?
They play for Oklahoma, right?
Goddamn.
They're the ones that bum rushed the borders to claim property.
They're the ones that took the property before they were supposed to take the property.
Right.
Is that where the word "soon" come from?
Sooner than they were supposed to.
Sooner than you should.
They were thieves. They were taking the property.
Man, why would we call people who took the property?
We don't call them thieves when they white. We call them Sooners.
Wow.
So should we be giving her a pass because she's black?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that we want to make her look like, and Black Lives Matter and everything else look like it's just such a complete failure.
But at what point? Regardless how many people done it before, regardless what race is still doing it, or what races are still doing it, at what point do somebody say take accountability for this shit and talk about they dumbasses doing it and make them hold them accountable? You can't keep giving them passes.
I don't disagree, but it's almost as if we want to stone our own. And believe me, they are ready to stone us regardless. So now we just follow in line.
I don't know if it's that we want to stone our own as much as we hoped our own would be better. Like I agree with Anthony Bruce. If she'd have bought the mansion but helped,
gave to all the foundations like she's supposed to.
Right, help 15 families that needed it. Everybody been like, you know what? She deserved a damn mansion. Go to hell. We told the people that were coming after her now go to hell. But that's not what has happened.
But do you guys know how powerful greed is?
Oh,
you preaching now, cuz you preaching.
Facts.
Yeah, we know how powerful greed is.
You preaching.
I don't know if we do.
We do, but there's a lot of other people who deal with a shitload of money all the time, but still don't do the same thing that they do. So I'm not gonna give her a pass. I'm not gonna give that organization a pass. At some point, you gotta take responsibility for this shit and accountability.
I think the I don't mind, because to be honest with you, in a nonprofit, I have zero problem paying yourself in a nonprofit. I don't have any issue with that. No problem. And I don't have a problem with what you pay yourself, because whatever you feel like you're worth relative to what you're doing, I think that's fair wage. I don't have any issue with that. I think the challenge that I think all of us are having is it just doesn't appear that that money has ever gone to where they thought, where we all thought it would go. And that's the challenge I think we're having.
Let's just put it like this. In this country, we have always excused certain crimes or given lighter sentences for certain crimes. We even have a whole name for it. We call them white-collar crimes.
Yeah.
This country does not really penalize people for white-collar crimes.
True. Facts.
They might slap you on the hand. Don't misunderstand. They got to
normally.
normally you don't get really punished for white collar crime. You get punished for blue collar crime.
But I don't think
if you are black committing a white collar crime.
Right, I was gonna say, I don't know if she's gonna suffer the same fate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I
listen. One of my favorite shows is American Greed. Watching American Greed, I'm watching how. Are you done? American Greed talks about these hedge fund people who embezzle millions of dollars. Well, he's gonna get 12 months behind bars and be charged with like a wire fraud. And it's like, what the? That's it? For millions of dollars? He can sit on ice for 12 months and get out and really work them millions that you can't find that he got in a shell corporation overseas.
See, that's what I don't understand about the judicial system. You rob these people, take every last dime they got, to the point where some of them commit suicide.
Right. You should be charged with a murder.
I have to take this call. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then I think Anthony Bruce kind of summed it up as well. He said, we thought BLM was going to be a beacon of light. And I think that's kind of why people are like, man, we were trying. Like Tyra Banks said, we was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. And just,
yeah, a lot of people were rooting for Bernie Madoff when he was ripping their asses off.
Sure.
Greed is powerful.
I mean, listen.
It is. It absolutely is.
He was ripping them people. He had family members. Okay, like not just the person, but family of family. Like, okay, I'm gonna get my kids to put my kids on. Well, let me put my grandmother and them on. Let me put my auntie and them on. Wiping out whole families' legacy finances, and he was still just like, I'm gonna take care of you. With a straight face, and then people was like, I trust you. People overseas was doing the same thing. It was so bananas.
So honestly, Patrice Cullors was just running the blueprint or the book or the playbook that has been laid out before. Now, again, that don't make it right, but don't lump her into a category that's so different than everybody else that we don't, she running the same playbook. Now, we hope that she wouldn't. But nevertheless.
But do you forgive everybody who runs that same playbook? At what point do you stop? At what point you tell them quit running student body right and run student body left? You never gonna get anywhere if you keep doing the same shit the same way everybody else is. And then complain later. Oh, we're not getting nowhere. We're not going no damn where.
Well, to me, the biggest reason why I'm frustrated by it is because it makes it harder for the next group to come along who legitimately want to go do some things. And then I'm going to say something else. And y'all not going to like what I'm about to say now, but it's probably the truth. It's probably better for you when you are a nonprofit to dance in the shadows. Because the truth of the matter is, we're not built, a lot of us are not built for the accountability that comes with the light. So maybe you should dance in the shadows and figure out exactly what you want to do before you put it out there, or there's a way to be nonprofit in the shadows and you just do what you do and you help people and you build whatever you build and it's not this gigantic big thing, but you still get the satisfaction of the work. But man, once you put it out in the light, there's an expectation that comes with the light. That's just how it works. So I don't know. To be continued, I guess. I don't know how much more I want to talk about her on this show either, but because it's not a positive story. It's probably not going to end well. So speaking of things that may not end well, got a chance to see the Will Smith interview this weekend on Netflix with David Letterman. And now I understand what the writer said in the article that previewed it when he said it's a little cringeworthy. There were some moments where you go, what did I just see? But I also was reminded in the interview of why we like Will in the first place. Will's a good dude. Will's a good dude, and he's trying to have a human experience. And he's just in a tough spot, man. Our life choices are so critical to the whole, man. Y'all remember the book, the Choose Your Own Adventure books? You remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Mm-mm.
They were wildly popular in the 80s, where they give you a book, they give you a story, and you can choose the direction of the story. So if you choose page 81, you jump over to page 81, you skip all the pages and go over there, and then the story takes this turn. Then it may jump back to 42. Then it may jump all the way to 102 or whatever. But you choose the direction of the story every single time. That's kind of what life is like. If you don't choose the right direction of the story, woo, man, that thing can come off the rails real fast. Did you guys get a chance to see it? Did y'all know if you guys had a chance to see any of it?
Not the complete interview.
Not the complete interview. Saw part of it.
The
Yeah,
beginning.
I felt that assignment today.
That's okay. I mean, life happens.
I saw part of it also.
Yeah. It was really quite fascinating. It was first of all, shout out to Dave Letterman. Dave reminded me why I miss him so much on TV. Phenomenal interviewer. Just phenomenal interview. And he makes you feel comfortable as a person, and you feel like you want to talk to him. He's just a really great interviewer. So one of my aesthetic interviewing role models, by the way. But the interview talked about the book that he wrote and some of the things he exposed in the book. So you got a chance to reiterate why, he was the way he was as a human, as a person. And then it got into some really interesting parts later on. They did a segment where outside of a restaurant where Will taught David how to hit somebody, which obviously carried a certain irony.
A theatrical hit or
no, an actual real we in a fight hit.
Oh, Shakespeare.
No, not Shakespeare.
No, I'm saying this is the Shakespearean type where he taught somebody how to hit somebody, and then he hit somebody. So it seems like it's.
Well, if you're saying it's art imitating life or life imitating art, then yes, I'll go with you on that.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I had to interpret apparently.
Well,
it wasn't coming across like that.
We knew where you was going.
Thank you, Kyrie. You know what, Mr. Noise?
It was interesting. It was, and then there was one part where he talked about he went over to Brazil and he took some psychedelic drug, and he had a vision, and in the vision he was on a cliff, and his money was floating away, and his career was floating away, and his daughter was screaming out, "Daddy, Daddy, save me." And so he was trying to save his daughter, but also figure out how he could save his career and his money. And I thought that was interesting because the first thing that stood out to me in his recollection of this drug-induced state that he was in, because he went over to take this drug to kind of start to get a mental and emotional and spiritual healing of his life. Yeah, Will's out there when it comes to this type of stuff. Clear. But he went over there to get this healing. And what stood out to me in his interpretation is that he's trying to save his kids, but not his wife. She wasn't in the vision.
Was all the kids in the vision or just one?
Just the one, but I think the one represented all. in the way he told the story. It felt like the one represented all. And then he said he realized, I can't save my family. I can't save my career, but I'm built to handle anything that happens to me. That's what he said in the interview.
I'm going to tell you, when you said that, when you said he was taking a psychedelic drug and started to see some things, I thought about Dave Chappelle when he was getting high with the rappers. And he got high with the rappers and said, I'm going to bomb tonight. I can feel it.
Well, there is a self-awareness that he achieved in this, whatever this thing was. But I don't know if he completely understood the interpretation of what he saw in the vision. Because, man, talk about having a prophetic moment.
Yeah, I was going to say some tribal communities, they live by that. It's not hallucinating. It's releasing your self-conscious. It's releasing your inner desires and inner thoughts and being.
And that is spot on to what he said in the interview, Al. It was exactly what he was doing. He said it was me releasing those inner thoughts that I carry, fears, whatever, out of my subconscious mind. It was, again, a very interesting interview, especially in relation to what ultimately has happened in his life. Anthony Bruce asked a really good question, because I think I said, trying to recover from bad choice. He said, was his bad choice trying to love her or staying as long as he did? And I don't know. My answer to that is I don't know.
Can't answer that because the story's not complete.
Well, I don't. Well, my reason for not answering is because I don't know if it's ever wrong to try to love somebody through their pain or through their choices. It's just I just wonder what level of investment you're supposed to make in that loving them. Like, are you supposed to marry them? Or are you supposed to just be that friend that's there in support? And what are you supposed to choose? What direction? Again, to choose your own adventure book. What adventure are you supposed to choose? Are you the crazy sidekick that offers advice to help you through your situations? Or are you the knight in shining armor that rescues the damsel in distress? That's the question.
I would venture to say that in his altered mental state, he probably was trying to save his daughter because he didn't think his wife needed to be saved.
Needed to be saved. Wow.
I don't think he thought she needed to be saved.
Or did he think his daughter had the most to lose, so he had to save her first?
It's possible.
Because at that time, Willow and what's that boy's name? Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were
out there.
They had us like, damn, what's wrong with these kids? The antics and the costumes or attire, it was like, they not right. Opinions.
Yeah. No, I got you. What did you take away from it, Mama Noise? What did you take away from it, cuz?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get the racist button. I'm sure of it.
I'm ready.
Know, Al said, God
damn, that was racist. That was racist.
I'm sorry, my finger slipped. It's preemptive. It was preemptive. Go ahead.
Al said, in tribal, some tribes, and I was like, well, is that what they smoked the peace pipe for?
I was thinking
And they smoked the peace pipe so they can get some clarity. And
that's absolutely why they was.
That's actually true, though, Mama Noise. They do smoke the peace pipe for clarity.
I
Get
mean,
peace.
These are your people. You should know this.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. Because I had to say it when I said it. You know, I know he's going to
His
say
face.
something.
Mama Noise, you told us this, remember?
What?
Did he freeze like that?
This is how I feel inside.
You remember that,
How
right?
I feel inside is a part of my lineage.
Same
That's how
thing.
you feel inside.
Same thing. Same
My
difference.
bloodline and how I feel inside are not the same thing.
Okay. You
What's
say-
Indians got to do with your sheets and pillowcases? Did you say linens or lineage?
I thought Bloodline was her Indian name.
Oh my goodness. Oh, y'all on fire tonight, boy. Y'all on fire. Y'all on fire.
I'm offended. Y'all are attacking my bloodline.
Is that how you feel inside?
No.
If you can see my face, Mama Noise, I'm actually making the Indian where they put the hand against their mouth, and I'm like, but
Yeah, you can't see his face.
That's why we can't see your tail.
that is true.
Lloyd, he fessed up, even though we can't see him, he gets one. Really.
Yeah, I think so.
He walking around the house, hit him.
Hey,
Your tail is just as guilty.
you know something is racist when you get it and we can't even see you do it. That's pretty bad. That description was
Anthony
racist.
Bruce, that's right. Savage Owl in full effect.
That description was racist. Goodness gracious. All right, cuz what are your thoughts on it? You saw some of the interview. What'd you think about Will? Oh, Will.
I have a hard time saying anything negative about it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time thinking that he's necessarily wrong on any of it. Sometimes what's for you is for you. Not only does he smoke that shit or do that shit or whatever that shit is, his son does it too.
His what?
His son does it too.
Yeah, his son is. I think it's the youngest one does it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, one of the problems with having so much money and for having it so long, you sometimes forget reality. You live in an alternate world, a weird world.
Yeah.
I think that's easy to do in Hollywood where they live, north of Hollywood, whatever. I think that's easy to do, that you get the everyday problems that we have that we think about as normal people. They don't have those issues. So what do they think about? They contemplate shit that we don't contemplate because we're too busy wondering if we're going to have the rent money at the end of the month.
That's very true.
So our minds don't have to be psychedelic and figure all that old bullshit out. We don't do all of that.
So you're saying Hollywood people are just as basically crackheads?
Wait, what? I don't think that didn't sound like the same thing.
The reason why I don't criticize it as much is because it really could be a deeper state of consciousness. Most of us aren't conscious because we're so busy worried about that which we can't even control anyway. Trying to figure, day to day, month to month. So we really don't delve nearly as deep into the meaning of life as we should because we're too busy worried about baby formula or whatever it is. They don't have those issues. Old folks used to say that idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Or playground, yeah.
That could be true. That could be true, but it also could be very enlightening.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about the Smiths, other than the fact that I am as a black person very happy, pleased, if you will, that they're still married. and I pray that they stay married. Is my purpose on earth happiness?
You keep asking that.
Here we go again.
Why you don't want nobody to be happy?
When I meet my lovely bride, my lovely bride, my lovely bride, my lovely bride.
And we're off. Why you thinking on that? I'm wearing a free will shirt right now.
Is my purpose to care for and build that woman? Or is my purpose happiness? I don't believe your purpose can be both. I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that.
Okay.
I honestly can't follow you at all when you present that argument, because it really baffles me, because we always discuss on this show about unaddressed trauma and why would you encourage somebody to stay in a marriage full of trauma and turmoil just for the imagery of being a married Black couple, just to show other Black people that you could stay married? That just baffles me. There seems to be no purpose for that. If you miserable, disguising, hiding your hurt, your pain, just to soothe other people's perception of marriage. It just baffles me.
Well, I mean, it may baffle you because you don't want to open up to the reality of life, and I get that.
What does that mean?
Because everybody's choosing happiness. Listen, not only did the FBI know, Coretta Scott King knew that her husband was a hoe.
Yeah. Shout out to Ava DuVernay, who did not shy away from that in the movie, by the way.
But she stayed with her husband in order to build whatever it was they were trying to build together. Listen, all of us aren't going to go to our grave happy. I am serious about that thought.
I'm going happy.
Too many of us, we used to sing an old song years ago, say, God did not promise us sunshine. We got to have some rain in order to appreciate the sunshine.
You got to have some rain to appreciate sunshine. What if you have no sunshine?
Too many of us believe that we're supposed to have sunshiny days.
You are supposed to have sunshine.
You just said it.
I don't know. I'm not going to go with you on that one. You full of shit on that.
I didn't say you. Too many people believe that their life is supposed to be.
Nobody's supposed to have a miserable life, cuz that's not true. I didn't
say nobody's supposed to have a
well, but just to imply that you're not supposed to have sunshiny days is ridiculous.
Some of us will have less than what we think we're supposed to have for a greater good.
So you fully believe the song you just quoted, right? What about the song says after the rain, the sun will shine again? What about the scripture that says weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning? I would dare say God wants us to be miserable.
But we don't know when that morning really is. Is that
morning? But by your standard, you should just stay in it, even if it lasts forever.
When is morning?
That's not defined.
Tomorrow at about.
One of the interesting statements you just made, and one of the best definitions I ever heard came from one of the guys who wrote a song that he added in there, Israel Houghton. He said most people think morning is when the sun shines, but the truth is, he said morning is when you wake up.
Yes, sir.
So maybe the reality is maybe this is Will's awakening. And he's like, oh, get my ass out of this shit because this is ridiculous. I'm not saying, listen, I don't know where this is going with him. I don't know. By the way, thank you for that, cuz, because you led us into our promotion for Tuesday. The Talk That Tuesday is going to be on fire because the two questions are people capable of being honest with themselves or are people capable of being honest with each other? How important is honesty in the lives of people?
Shit, sounds like not much.
I get what you're saying, cuz I really do. I just don't think people are built that way. People aren't built to live in misery.
That's the no. I'm not talking about misery. It doesn't have to be.
If you're talking about a life that delays, hold on. If you're talking about a life that delays happiness for the sake of suffering for others, then yes, you are talking about misery for some. That is misery for some people. They are not, and people are not built. People are built to suffer a moment. They are not built to suffer a lifetime.
It depends on how you look at the circumstances to whether or not it's really misery. All parents are delaying their gratification for their kids' sake.
But gratification and suffering are two different things.
No, I never said suffering. You said something.
Okay, then you said happiness.
All parents sacrifice delayed gratification.
You said happiness, though. You said happiness. You used the word happiness.
But the key in your statement is you prefaced it with delayed gratification.
Which it may never happen because what if you die before you actually get it?
Oh, geez. There's a lot of what ifs there.
I mean, it's a reality, though.
Yeah, it is, but it's not.
I give my all to my kids for 18 years. Then I'm stricken with cancer and I die before I reach that time I had been planning with my spouse, us alone, traveling the world, doing what we want to do. I'm dead.
That can happen.
It happens. No, it can't happen. It happens. So that my point is, not everybody's going to have. Life is not about your happiness. I just don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. If you can find happiness, if you can find joy and peace, great, good for you. But too many of us search for it.
But the way you're saying it implies that it's more common to go through the suffering aspects of life than it is to find that peace and joy and happiness that we're talking about. And I don't know if that's true either.
But and then you say people search for happiness, joy. Who the hell searches for misery and pain? Misery and pain is just a byproduct of what happened. Nobody searches for misery and pain. Everybody searches for happiness, joy, and peace. That you go into everything you do looking for those three things. You don't go looking for nothing else.
It depends on what you consider to be misery. Is marriage life miserable to you?
No, my marriage is happy. I'm happy as a motherfucker. Sorry. But I have my good days. I have my good days and my bad days. But am I miserable? Hell no.
There's a lot of people that will consider married life miserable.
It's because they don't want to be married.
There are a lot of people that will consider having kids miserable.
Because they don't want kids. Because they don't want kids.
There are a lot of people that consider going to the office every day to work to make a living miserable.
Oh, that's misery.
What you consider to be miserable.
Going to work every day is miserable. You're a hoe for somebody else. That is misery.
It's how you process it.
What's happening is Slide In right now. Slide In is really in a different place right now. They're
I'm sorry, I didn't mean the confusion. I'm just
no. You're doing good. You're doing good. It's just We just don't agree right now, but it's fine. I mean, the show is built around this type of disagreement. It's okay.
But again, you got to ask yourself, when are you, like you said, Will woke up. Will is deciding that if he decides, I'm not saying that he is, but he was only built for 22 years of misery. Maybe he says enough is enough. Should he stay? If all he's going to have for the remaining 10 more years, 20 more years he may have alive, should he stay in that pain?
I also am not in love with the fact that you're implying that the misery is the only way you can produce example for others. There are other ways to do that. You can produce that in a happy state as well.
Yeah. I'm tempted to say, hell, Denzel's relationship doesn't look miserable, and I'm more apt to look at his relationship than I am Will and Grace's. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know, cuz I get what you're attempting to do here tonight, and it is admirable. But there is a high level of full of shit that goes with it as well.
I'm glad you think I'm full of shit. I'm not
because I love you. That's why I say it.
I'm not attempting to do anything. I'm telling you how I feel about life.
Okay.
That's the issue of anything.
And like you said earlier, that's your truth, and everybody has their version of their truth, and everybody has to live by their version of their truth, regardless of what other people think. It's still your truth.
My stance is very clear to me. Too many people are in search of happiness, and it's not real.
So what is real?
You go through life in search of happiness.
So what is real? What should they be searching for? Nothing?
People get stuck on substance abuse and so forth and so on. All because they're in search of happiness.
So what should they be searching for? And we know the obvious is the Lord. But what should they be searching for?
What is your purpose? Why are you here? Not to be on some stage and people throwing money at your feet. But why are you here? What is your purpose? If it's nothing more than in Al B's case, I'm just using you as an example. If it's nothing more than to make sure that his kids have a fighting chance, that's his purpose. That's an honorable purpose. You go to your grave and that's it. Was my purpose to really be happy? Or was my purpose to do my best by those I had responsibility over? Now, raising kids, if you're happy raising kids, then God bless you. But most people aren't really happy. We find joy in it. We have purpose in it, but not really happiness.
See, I was with you for a little bit, but I can't.
Tar says, doesn't knowing your purpose and pursuing it bring you joy?
Absolutely, but it doesn't bring you happiness. Absolutely, it does, Tar.
I disagree with that. I think that brings you all of the above. It brings you joy and it brings you happiness.
Happiness is too fleeting, so your purpose it's not real.
But so what? But that's not the point. The fleetingness of happiness and what happiness does. Who cares? That's not really the point. The point is, do I have experiences of happiness in the midst of my purpose? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. So nobody stays happy all the time. If that's what you're trying, if that is what you're saying, and it just sounds raggedy when you say it, then I can get on board with that. Nobody stays happy all the time. But to say
many people are always in search of it. That's the point. Not that you stay happy, but people are always in search of it.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with people hold on. I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to or having a preference for happiness. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. So if you are seeking that now the danger comes in the way you try to go pursue your happiness, right? Okay, now I can get on board with you. The shit was raggedy at first, Sales. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
all over the place.
I'm still not on board.
Well, listen, we got to bring clarity to people. We can't just be saying shit all willy-nilly.
My stance has been the same. It hadn't changed.
Yeah, but it didn't make sense is what we're trying to tell you.
Now, I don't know what to tell you.
I still don't know where y'all going with this, but okay.
Well, I think what he's trying to imply is that the single pursuit of happiness without purpose is one that can only lead to ebbs and flows that will take you places you probably shouldn't go. Like if you say, I just want to be happy, I don't want nothing else but happiness, and then whatever in that moment makes you happy, you'll do, which doesn't necessarily produce great results. Because you might get happy smoking like smoking crack. This might make me happy today, but that's not a good choice. So if that's what you're trying to imply,
but again, that's just because that's your perception of that person's choice. It's still that person's choice. It's still that person's truth. If that's what they want, it's what they want. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean anything.
I don't disagree with that. But what did it cost others around you?
It doesn't matter what it costs others around you. It might not cost people around you any damn thing.
Or it might cost them everything.
Or it might cost them everything. It's a 50-50 chance every damn day. Every day you get up is a 50-50 chance. Some good's going to happen, some bad's going to happen.
Now, I will say this. I don't think my pursuit of happiness should come at someone else's expense.
Should. But
I don't think that it should. Huh?
But oftentimes it does. But no, you're right. It shouldn't.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I mean, if I make better choices.
I have to figure out what makes me happy and then what is the cost. I have to be more calculated in my decisions.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
But that happens regardless if you're looking for happiness. It happens if you're looking for joy. And that same thing happens if you're looking for peace. All that shit happens. No matter which role you choose.
I agree with that too, Ron.
You're going to have an opportunity for something to happen that's going to impact somebody.
Yeah. And by the way, that may be the journey Will's on. Will might be like, listen, I have sacrificed for these people for 20 plus years. I now want my own joy, my own peace, my own happiness. And if that comes at their expense, then so be it.
And I have a term for that, and Albie knows exactly what that term is going to be. If I was Will Smith, the same thing I would say to my kids right now. Fuck them kids.
Well, I'm not sure it's the kids making them unhappy. So I don't know.
Yeah, but again, your pursuit, no matter where you go for peace, love, happiness, or joy, you're going to have an impact on somebody, whether positive or negative.
Well, I think that's why we got to talk about this tomorrow on the show. This has to be a part of that conversation of, can we be honest with ourselves? Because that epiphany of who we are and what we're here for, and how it affects others is kind of critical to the whole thing that we're talking about. So, it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Mr. Noise, do you have your purpose?
I do.
Mama Noise, do you have your purpose? Al B, do you have your purpose?
I believe so.
Ron, do you have your purpose?
As of right now, yeah.
Does any of your purposes lead you, your plan is for your purpose to lead you to wealth?
What part of we having this discussion tomorrow are you not understanding? Tomorrow.
But to answer your question, wealth has never been a priority of mine. Because just as much money can bring you happiness, that same money can bring your ass pain and agony.
Well, niggas don't understand the tease.
Love and happiness
make you want to do right.
Make you do right.
Sing, Al.
Yeah. Make you do wrong.
Make you
Sing,
do
Al.
wrong.
Sing it, Al.